Okay, I'll try to disassemble this 320 a little quicker for you so that somebody's watching this, they can get through it pretty quick. This in this position comes out, and then we slightly tip up the front of the chassis and it comes out and forward. Then what we could do is, got a couple of different choices here, but I'll take the pin out of the takedown lever, and if you press the trigger slightly forward, you can access this pin, and that will get enough of that to take it out. And then you want to flip it upside down and let it drop out so you don't lose this button and this little spring. So we have about 2 or 3 parts out of it. We begin to reduce the number of parts here. So I would take out this little trigger travel limiter pin, whatever you want to call it. And now the trigger will go back further. Then I would, at that point, probably go ahead and take off the trigger spring, and it'll come out of that side, and then lift the bar up, and then this will come out as this starts to come out. If this is all the way forward, it'll come out. If it's anywhere but all the way forward, it's locked in. So that now the trigger is out. Now we'll take off this bar, and I'm going to push it back this way and bring this up. Okay, that comes out. All right. And then that's about as far as you need to take it down to clean it. But if you're going to go further, there's 2 pins. There's the safety pin, which when that comes out, it's not spring loaded. Okay, it's still a little hard to fall out of there, so I'll go ahead and push out the sear pin as well, and both of those parts will come out. This one is, if you're looking for the back of the gun, it goes in like this, and this sandwiches up against it like that. If you're looking from the back of the gun, you'll see there's 2 little springs here. Very easy to lose those, and they stick. Each one of them is held on by this little tip, little tit sticking out there. So those will end up going back on there and sliding down in a little groove. So the only thing left in here is, you see the ejector is built onto the chassis, and the only thing in here is just this sear block, and it hinges on this pin, and then it has a little spring in it. So the spring and the block and this pin are the only thing left in there. I'm not going to take those out. I just don't see any reason to do that. Okay, so if we're going to put it back together, I'll do that for you. Okay, so I got the 2 springs back on the sear. They're very easy to lose, so try to get them as straight as possible and separated so they're not coiled together. I'm going to lay this safety on the top, and the way it's going to be oriented in the gun is this little hook is going to allow the sear pin to come through there, the small pin, and then this bigger hole, the sear is going to allow that safety pin to come through. And I'm going to take these 2, get them oriented as good as I can, and I'm going to slip them in to the sear block with those 2 springs aligned down those 2 little channels. Slip those in there and try to find a happy place. So it's not easy. Come from the bottom, get the safety pin in there, coming up through. Come on now, cooperate with me. There you go. So you can see I'm getting that safety pin up through the opening in the sear and through the pinhole in the safety, and then this just makes it a lot easier now. The sear pin going through all I have to do is get on here and then press the front of the sear down. Got to make sure those sear springs remain aligned. Jeez, okay. Normally that's a lot easier. Okay, so let me see. I can see the springs back there are going straight down. They look like they're good. But you can see that I've got good, smooth travel all the way down, and my safety is clear and free. Okay, good. Now I can start to reassemble this thing. I'll just take this bar first, and I'm going to bring it up and put it in sort of in position. Get it sitting there, then get the screwdriver and get it out of the way, and then slip it in. There you go. Now it'll be unlodged there just a little bit, so just want to position it back. Now this end is free, and this is in there, and it's capturing the sear pin. All right, so that's all good. It all still looks good. And then I'm going to take I'll just do the trigger bar next. Yeah, might as well. So I'm going to flip it over to the right side, and I'm going to start in with the trigger shoe, and then I'm going to slip this underneath and onto the pin there. Okay, and then go the rest of the way. All right, the other bar wasn't out of the way. Now as the trigger comes back, it locks it in. I'm going to let the other end here go into where it needs to go. There's a little pocket. Then I'm going to take the trigger spring and guide in the square end of it, and then hold the loop, the coil, then use this other thumbnail to bring it into that hook. Bring the hook into where it belongs. Then I'm good to go there, and then I'll go ahead and slip the trigger travel limiter pin in there, and then I'll hold the slide stop upside down and put that on there, and then lay this down over the top, and then I'll hold that in there while I slip the slide stop pin in all the way through. Okay, and then I could lubricate it. I am very hesitant to, but I have some very, very special, very special trigger lubrication that's really remarkable. And I will put just a little bit on there, just a couple of strategic places, and I'm just going to let that be it. Okay, just a drop here or there, and then I'm going to hook the trigger, drop the chassis in, push it back till it snaps in. Find the fat place on this and the flat place, not fat place, and work it in gently and push that bar back so I can clear it and get it in there without scratching the gun. Okay, it's in there without scratching the gun. And then no extra parts on the bench. It's always a good thing. And function check. Oh my God. Okay. All right, yeah, this is pretty ridiculous. Got a nice crisp reset. The over travel is, there's no post travel. A little bit of pre-travel, but it's a nice crisp break, and then there's no over travel. And then when I reset, no post travel, and then there's no over travel on the reset. So pretty darn good. All right, so that is a trigger job on SIG. It has some upgraded parts in it, and that's what the customer wanted. There you go.